running tests from known locations, providers, and plans could be part of your research analyses. But um, what if you want to just analyze the NDT results that others have conducted? As I've mentioned, all MLab data is published with public domain licensing, and it's available for any research and analysis reason. That is why we exist, so please use our data. There are two main ways to look at NDT data right now, through interactive online reports that MLab provides, or by querying the dataset yourself in BigQuery. Now, I'll be covering how to use the Data Studio reports in this video, but we also have provided an optional advanced video that introduces how to use BigQuery for those of you who wish to dive deeper. Now, as you can see here, I've linked to two interactive reports that we provide in Data Studio, the United States dashboard and the global dashboard. We'll look at the global dashboard in a moment, but this slide is a guide to help you use any of these reports. There are page navigation controls at the top left that allow you to move back and forth between different pages. Date selection controls, and on some pages there are other filters as well. Once you make selections, and the data tables are updated automatically, and then you have aggregate data which you can then download using the menu at the top right of any table. One thing that should be mentioned as we begin to explore NDT data aggregated by locations is that each test in the dataset is geolocated using the originating IP address. IP address geolocation is not the same as your GPS location or street address. It is less precise, and that precision varies in a lot of ways that aren't worth going into right here. But MLab generally recommends that NDT data can be aggregated accurately at the region or city level. Now, I'll speak to that more about the differences in what region means country to country as we demo the global report. So let's take a look. We'll bring up this tab and load that page. Now, as the report loads, you'll see that we have several things happening here. We have a country selector. I'm going to go ahead and reset that so all countries are selected. We have filter controls, and we have different pages as mentioned. So on the global dashboard we have two pages. Page 1 shows all of the data, and then page 2 is a description of the report methods and resources. We'll come back to that. So as we look at the main global dashboard, you can see that the NDT data is aggregated by week, beginning in January 2020. Now we may add historical data to that prior to 2020 in the future. You can select multiple weeks, and the default is select all weeks, or we can select individual weeks. So if we wanted to look at just, let's say, the month of August, we could select just the weeks that encompass August and bordering around August. And as you can see, once we've made selections, the data is updated, and we can see some of the things, some of the values. The country selector initially selects all countries. Now we could select, we'll come back to this in a moment. One thing to note is that when you're browsing the map, a single country can be selected just by clicking on it, and then we have a country level update. Clicking on that country again, or excuse me, off of the country, resets to all countries. So if you want to look at a single country and you can get to it here with the map, this map doesn't zoom in, unfortunately. You can click on the country on the map. But if, let's say, we wanted to select countries of interest to some of you who are attending this presentation, and I'll focus here on Africa and some countries within Africa. Okay, so I've selected a few countries here. Let's get in there and add one more. Okay, so you can see each time I update that, it's querying the statistics table that we've generated. Once you've made the selection, you can see how the statistics tables update automatically, and then we can use the menu at the top right here to download the results in CSV format or Excel format, or export them directly to a Google Sheet. Now, as I scroll down the page, you can see we get more geographically specific. Currently, we provide a breakdown by region code and city. MLab uses the ISO 3166-2 standard for region code. And there's a link here on my slide. Actually, there's a link in the slides, but there's also a link in the report to a Wikipedia page that describes those regions and lets you find the regions for your countries of interest. And that could be, the names of provinces or the names of counties, depending on the country you're in. For example, in the U.S., region is the state level. So I live in Maryland. MD would be shown as my region code. Right now, we aggregate the results to the first level subdivision in the ISO 3166-2 standard. But in the future, we'll also add the second level subdivision along with the region names. And then finally down in this last table, we have city. All the tables are providing the median download and the median upload and the number of tests in the sample. Now, the Data Studio reports have been great for fulfilling a need that our community has needed for some time, which is aggregate statistics. Before that, you had to do your own SQL queries in BigQuery to get this kind of information. But I encourage you to start here and look at this data and see how it can fit your needs. But if that doesn't fit your needs and you want to go to the advanced level, just contact us and watch the advanced video. You can also, of course, get in touch with me and we can help.